So, did everyone have a good BotCon? I mean, for the people who went, did you have a good time? Did you meet a lot of new people? Did you manage to escape with money in your bank account? For the people who didn't, and you spectated at home like I did you get everything you wanted? Did every toy you ever wanted come out, get announced? Well, I got Technobots, so I'm perfectly happy, and I'm in a Combiner War mood as a result. So we will talk about one of the first Combiner War toys, and probably the one that got scrutinized the most upon release. This is Alpha Bravo, the replacement Aerialbot, so we wouldn't have too many toy jets on the shelves at one time. So yeah, he is a rescue helicopter, or actually in this sense, I guess he would be an attack helicopter, being the Aerialbots. You can tell by the giant missile rack. If you want an actual rescue helicopter, go look at Blades, who also has a giant missile rack. They're protection missiles, I swear. But yeah, here we have the pre-mold, as it were, for that figure, as well as Vortex. It's a not bad helicopter. I actually quite like the look of this. It's got a very sleek profile to it. It's very smooth all the way through. And I liked all the extra tail fins and bits and bobs. It looks a little bit more heavy duty as a result. It's cast almost entirely in white plastic, a little bit of black showing through toward the rear. And as you can see, the paint apps include a lot of black on the front for the nose cone as well as the windows, and some blue that runs from side all the way to the back, where we get the Autobot sigil as well. And then, of course, on the side for the missiles, you have a metallic orange painting them up. Form-wise, like I said, I'm pretty much a fan of this. It's got a very sleek appearance to it, and seems to be a rather large helicopter if you compare like what the door sizes actually would seem to be here. And I do like the extra fins. If only he didn't have gigantic robot arms, obviously pinned to the sides of his vehicle. That, I admit, is a fairly big detraction. There's really no disguising it, really no hiding it. That's what they are. That's one downside to this guy. Other than that, not too shabby. There's not a whole lot of molded detail to discuss. There's panels and little lines all over him, but nothing spectacular or anything that stands out as a major detail. It's mostly just filling up blank space, just carving lines through to give it some kind of definition and detail. There is a rotor blade in the back. That's nice. So at least, they took the time for that. And of course, on top, as I keep bending the blades in, there is a two-blade rotor, which spins quite well. That's always a nice thing to have. So yeah, it's not a bad helicopter. So we're going to go through all four modes of this guy, and this is going to take a little bit of time, but hey, I want to be complete about this. So I'm going to go ahead and fold that piece up, and then, oh man, bad day to trim the fingernails. So yeah, this piece is locked in pretty good, and I've got to find what thumbnail I have that can actually get under them. There we go. It's annoying. This part of the transformation interests me because it's very Classics Astro Train. Like, to the letter. Like, I could have sworn this was going to be where Blastoff came from just because of that. But no, that came later. Alright, so with that done, we're going to go ahead and flip this gray section up. And then we take one of his accessory weapons and plug in like so. And there would be the leg mode. Pretty simple, all things considered. Does have the full knee bend like everything else in this series, and doesn't do too bad of a job. One thing about those arms sticking out, it does give it some more width and bulk so it can pass for a leg and still look sturdy. That's a good thing. So beyond that, not a whole lot to say. He transforms pretty simply into that mode. See, and as long as we're at it, let's get to the actual arm mode. There's the peg hole I should have demonstrated where this gun can actually mount. Don't worry, we'll show you what it does in robot mode at least. Alright, so to do this, we just basically continue the transformation to get him into robot mode. So for this, we need to undo the legs, extend them out, make sure the hinges all go in correctly so that these little tabs go back into that the way they're supposed to. And bend that all the way down. Rotate, rotate. Now for this, flip out. I think we'll make him a right hand today. And Boom. Just like that. Pretty simple. And come on, clip together. There we go. Just like that, we do have the arm mode. And again, it doesn't do too bad of a job. The arms do kind of get in the way here if you want a deeper elbow bend, but they're easy enough to get out of the way or fold in. If you really want to, you can actually fold them backwards like this, and that actually gives these helicopter blades something to be pinned against. That's the one downside to this toy, is those blades just don't want to stay anywhere, and they don't quite fold up enough to get trapped underneath these the extra tail fins. So they kind of get in the way. That's an annoyance, but hey, it's a minor one at least. So yeah, not a bad arm mode. So let's go ahead and finish this guy up. Gonna rotate that all the way back around and split the legs. That gives us most of the transformation already done. Now the arms officially come off the sides. Flip the head back up. Rotate head around. Rotate that. Because reasons. You could have done that at any time, but hey, I think it looks better with that piece outward. And just like that, we have our Alpha Bravo in his full robot mode. I think this was actually a pretty smart choice on the designer's part. If you got to admit, even if you are like a purist when it comes to your combiner teams, the Aerialbots are kind of dull with the 5 jets that basically all look the same. This, I think, for variety's sake, was a good idea, and decoing him in orange did give him some distinction from the other Aerialbots, while still providing something that still looked like it fit in with them, with their white and red tones. We take a closer look at the head. No real surprises here. It's pretty much the same head they were using for Vortex especially. That's definitely Vortex's head. Just kind of painted over in orange and given a blue visor. It does a passable job getting a unique look across. I think the orange going from the face guard to the head, or to the forehead and all the way back, I think that does the best job of just making him distinct from the other paint jobs he would later receive. Form-wise, he's pretty good. You know, he's a little bit svelte, a little bit thin as far as Transformers and giant robots go, but nothing terrible or egregious or in any way. He forms up fairly nice, though he does have a few extra little bits and bobs hanging off. You know, the sides of the cockpit and nose cone, as well as, this piece on the blades, as well as the big back half of his tail. Though for an Aerialbot, this is pretty slim, and it definitely still beats out some of the G1 Aerialbots, as well as Blades and Vortex for how they handled some of their extra bulk. But overall, he looks quite nice. I'm entirely happy with this. So, quickly to articulation. The ball joint in the head works fairly well. Aside from full rotation, he gets a good up look. That's good. Ball joints in the shoulders work quite well. You have a rotation at the bicep, as well as a 90-degree bend, with a little loose detent in there. It's just plastic and friction, but hey, it keeps that pose stiff. That's good. Waist rotation, that works out as well. Full ball joints in the thighs, thigh rotation, knees, decent bend, and then nothing left in the foot, because everything has to be kind of sturdy on one of these Combiner War toys. It's very rare when anything happens down there. But hey, he has a decent level of articulation. Pretty much all the Combiner War toys hit all the right sweet spots for articulation. Though now I'm trying to give him some kind of action pose here and having trouble getting his legs to cooperate. Yeah, he does a decent job, I think. So, yeah, he also comes with accessory weapons. I do think the hand-foot guns look kind of ridiculous in their gun modes, but at the very least, I will give them credit. Aside from being clever to be hand and foot, it also means that if you buy just one toy, it still has some function as accessory. While that accessory is just a ridiculously large gun, hey, it still works out, doesn't it? And most of these Combiner War toys have feet large enough to sustain such a burden of balance. So that works out fairly well, I think. You have a chain gun on him. I almost posed him with the wrong one when I started this review, and then I double-checked stock photos, though some, like the stock photos, had a completely different fist attached. So, yeah, I almost screwed up, but hey, I'm working on it. I'm trying to get better, guys. So yeah, double chain gun, which is actually kind of cool. And if you want more firepower than that, he also has his regular old rifle here. Go ahead and plug that into his other hand. Heavily armed now, considering he still has those missiles attached to his forearms. The new gun is kind of interesting. It's got some hollow sections to it that I think add to the look, make it a little bit more unique. The other side is quite hollow, but in a weird way, it kind of has a G1 style gun aesthetic to it. Those hollowed out parts and little pieces raised up and all of that. I think it actually kind of works well. So I'm kind of a fan of this design all the way around. I will admit, I don't really have any attachment to him, and once I got Quickslinger, I really didn't have any need to keep this one, but he's managed to endure in my collection for a while because there is some kind of charm to him. And I think a lot of people felt that, even if he wasn't like a real Aerialbot. At the very least, he seemed perfectly passable. I think it helps that he shares color schemes with evacs of the past, so it's also familiar to us as a Autobot helicopter. That is Alpha Bravo, the misfit of the Aerialbots. I still think he is a worthwhile toy, though. If you have Vortex and or blades, it's pretty much more the same. It's the same toy, so you're not really getting anything different. But if you need some variety in your Aerialbots, this is the guy to go to.